Hello and welcome back to the Introvert Circus, and welcome if you are new. My name is Sassafras and this is a channel where I explore all kinds of fun things, dog training, dog adventures, though we're doing a whole lot less adventuring because of the pandemic, and life with dogs, having fun with dogs. One of the questions I get the most often from readers of my training book, folks who are in my Facebook training group, which link below if you haven't checked it out, it's Tricks in the City on Facebook. And questions I just get in private messages from friends is how I organize my training schedule, how I organize planning, any of that stuff for what I'm doing with my dogs. And how I do that is a fun little thing called bullet journaling, which you probably are already familiar with. There's a ton of amazing planner and plan with me channels here on YouTube. There's amazing resources all over the internet. And I take a little bit of what works for me from those methodologies and I apply it to being a dog trainer, to being a dog parent, to life with dogs and organizing my time with dogs so that I have achievable goals. I'm gonna walk you through setting up my weekly dog training bullet journal spread now. But if you have not already subscribed, please subscribe. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and let's get bullet journaling. All right, so I am going to walk you through how I approach bullet journaling for dog training. This is just a notebook. It's actually a Disney Dogs notebook. I'm a huge Disney Dogs fan, and when I saw these, I had to pick them up, and I've been using it for bullet journaling for dog training for the last almost, I guess, a little over 6 months now, more than that, 8 months, I guess. And I use a page a week when I'm being organized, and I have hit most weeks. I think there's a couple of weeks I've missed here and there. And I do this weekly spread every week, but I change it up a little bit. So I like to do it at the start of the week, and I thought I'd bring you through my approach to it. So I start by just writing the days of the week. You obviously don't have to follow my approach for how I set up my bullet journal for my dog training. But you can adjust it, whatever makes the most sense to you. I do like doing the daily rows. You'll see I have some other things as well, but I do this for my main training section. This I find the most useful. And then I just use a ruler. You don't have to. It helps me out. And I just measure over several columns. How many do I have? I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 this week. It varies a little bit depending on how precise my measuring is. And these are the sections that I will put in what skill I am going to be focusing on, or skills that I'm focusing on for the week. And I tend to pick 9 and then have another category. And these rotate every week to some extent. Some say more the same than others, depending on what we are working on. And this bullet journal has also shifted and evolved. It's been a rough year for me and my family. My dog Charlotte passed away in October from cancer, and my 17-year-old dog passed away earlier this month. So before this, I had multiple sections for each day of the week where I would be able to track each dog's training process. But now we have the Princess Sirius, who is my only, though not very lonely, dog. She is quite enjoying being an only child, well, and the cats. But and then I just use some washi tape to decorate. This is absolutely not required, but I have a whole bunch of washi tape, and I have a lot of dog themed washi tape, surprise surprise, and I just enjoy including it. It makes me happy. So then the next sections that I put in, and again, you can and should adjust this for however makes the most sense. I also include grooming. I know this is mostly a training bullet journal, but I do also include grooming pieces, and I make a checklist for each day of the week. I set mine up to be Monday through Sunday. You could set yours up however you want. And I have 3 grooming categories that I am tracking. I have brushing, toe trimming or dremeling, and ear cleaning. And ear cleaning is something we either do once a week, or if we are doing a lot of water activities, we do it every time she swims, which is why I have it as a potential to be multiple days, though we're not spending any time in water right now other than the baby pool. Which, depending on how excited she gets in her baby pool, we might need it. Brushing is something I strive to do every day, or at least every other day. I have a heavy-coated Newfoundland, so when I was making this on Monday morning, I had in fact already groomed for Monday, so I was able to check that off. And then I also have one more category that I track in Sirius's weekly bullet journal, which is stretching. If you are new to my channel, Sirius is my 3.5-year-old Newfoundland. She had both of her knees replaced by lateral TPLO knee surgery almost a year and a half ago now, and made an amazingly full recovery from that procedure. And she is also a Newfoundland, so is also prone to some neck straining. So we have a variety of stretches from her veterinary physical therapist that I try to incorporate into everyday training. So I like to keep track of that in her bullet journal as well. So I have those just as a checkbox for every day of the week. And now I'm going to do this is how I track training. So what I like about the bullet journal format is how flexible it is. And there's tons of bullet journal tutorials you can find online, ways to set them up. This is just what works for me. I like the checkbox. I don't like to do anything super, super fancy for this. And I then use each of those categories every day to help me strategize. This is a ruler. It's not a ruler. It's a bookmark, sorry, that I'm going to use as a ruler, from Lily Chin, who's an amazing dog illustrator. She and I collaborated last year on a picture book called Bedtime Stories for Rescue Dog, William to the Rescue. And she sent me these really cool Dogs of the World 2020 bookmark calendars, and I was just using it to figure out what days this week was, so I can write that at the top. It helps me to be able to look back and track. Something I love about keeping this all in a notebook together is I'm able to look at trends over time, both what skills we're working on, how consistently I'm training, and also if things are going on. So in fact, when Charlotte, and I have a note section. It's hard to see the way that is. I have a note section at the bottom so that I can mark any larger trends. And something that was really helpful, I guess I've been doing this almost a year now, I just realized, Charlotte got diagnosed with cancer it was a very sudden diagnosis, and she went downhill very suddenly. But before that, she had a herniated disc in her back, and I was able to actually look back at my bullet journaling and track and see when she started subtly showing symptoms of slowing down right before we ended up finding out about her herniated disc. And it was really helpful to be able to see that, to track that, to be able to show her orthopedic specialist and be able to look at how our training was going. So I say that, and I'm just putting in the skills that we're focusing on this week. So the last one there is my other. So if we work on anything, it goes there. Focus is something I am always working on with my spicy girl. Rally, we have been doing a bunch of rally. Actually, as I'm posting this, we just got news that Sirius finished her novice rally title via the AKC's new virtual pilot program, which I'm going to have another video all about that process coming very, very soon. You can see her 3 qualifying runs also here on this channel. Bow is not a very complicated skill. Sirius has her champion trick dog title and elite performer title, but Bow is something we never really worked that hard on after she was a puppy, again, because of knee surgery. So I'm working on it now after I realized she didn't know it. Rewind is one of the directions of orbit. I taught orbit one direction, didn't teach it the other, so now we're teaching it the other. We've been playing a lot of scent-based games. We're working on ring stack. It's a trick that she knows a little bit, but not super well. Giant dogs develop emotionally, slowly, and so she's only just in the last year or so, not even, maybe like 8-9 months, had the attention span and focus for the kind of detailed tricks. So we're having a lot of fun with those. Working on some distance skills in the backyard. Working on holding different kinds of objects are goals we have for this week. And playing the piano because it's fun. So that morning I had already done some focus games in the yard with her. Oh, and these are my favorite highlighters. These are erasable highlighters. They're from Pilot. You can get them on Amazon. I'm obsessed with them. I use them for everything, and I just like to add color. You might not be surprised to know that color is one of my favorite things. And so I like to just highlight the the days across the week. Something I noticed, is if I don't leave a space between it, it just gets a little busy for me to see. I like that space. You obviously don't need to, but it makes me happy. So that's why I have a space between each of the days of the week. And that's my basic setup. I'm going to go in and add more highlighter here. Again, this is just decorative, but it gives me pleasure to see it. But it also helps me to be able to draw my eye to each section. And I keep this bullet journal on my desk so that I can easily just tick boxes off on it each day. Sometimes I will also track walks, how many walks we take. That's often a category I have in my top bar. When Sirius was doing physical therapy, recovering from knee surgery, I had full spreads tracking each of the exercises from physical therapy. Her vet team loved me because I would be able to bring them in and track all of that. So thank you so much for watching. Please, again, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I have a whole bunch of fun dog content planned and coming. If you have video requests or suggestions, please leave them in the description box below. I'm always open to new ideas, and I love sharing dog adventures with all of you. See you real soon. Bye.